I seek refuge in God, the all-knowing, the excited, the exalted, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, and in the name of God, peace and blessings be upon Muhammad and his good and pure family. God is a blessing upon Muhammad and upon the descendants of Muhammad and hasten the relief of the ninth path. Easy in this ninth path. Easy in the previous researches. Boys of complete origin. The first belief in the existence of God. The first belief in the existence of anything in the last. The first belief in the Barzakh. The first belief in the angels. Any place. It does not differentiate. Now, the discussion of belief in what should I do is not the subject of our speech. What is the first belief in God? Faith in the existence of God. We said that faith is the branch of the existence of knowledge and evidence. If they remember the condolences mentioned above. We said the first stage is photography. The second stage is logical confirmation. The third stage is verbal ratification, which is not the same. Therefore, verbal ratification, which is faith, is a branch of what? The branch of knowledge, and knowledge here does not mean perception. And what is the establishment of evidence on the content of the issue? What is our investigation of the existence of God? This is a good research. From here, we begin to distinguish between knowledge and right-handedness. There are two fundamental differences. The first difference is that knowledge is not optional, other than. What other than right-handedness? If you have evidence, then it begins to happen to you what is ratification. If you look at something, you get an image of what is in it. You can tell the hell not to take a picture, no, he can't. If you hear the number 2 with the addition of 2, you will know that it is what? 4. If you hear that two things are happening to you, you know that it is impossible. And so on. Knowledge is not optional, other than what? Unlike faith, it is an optional matter. You are the right. You are the one. You are the one. You are the one. You are able to God. You believe in this. First and second, knowledge of two things does not entail external action, unlike faith. If you believe, it results in it. Out of here, you will find that a discussion took place between them. What is the relationship between knowledge and faith? Mr. Al-Tabatabai, may God Almighty have mercy on him, in Al-Mizan in the 18th volume. This is his statement. There, faith says something that is not merely the knowledge that occurs in that. Something that leads to the clues, with evidence of a breakup between them. Knowledge is attained and faith is not attained by anyone. Mere knowledge of two things and the one who is certain that it is true is not sufficient for the attainment of faith, and the rank of the one who attains it, that is, the one to whom the knowledge is attained, is a believer. Not every scholar is a believer. Rather, he may be a scholar and not a believer. This is the best evidence of disengagement. If the believer comes to the conclusion, the believer says, he is the one who produces the effect on faith, without having to adhere to its requirements, and the contract of the relationship to the knowledge is led such that its practical effect is clear and has become apparent. God Almighty has God other than him, so adhere to what he abides by, this oath, and it is a term, and it is servitude and servants. He is a believer, but if he knew about it and did not adhere to it, then it is knowledge, and no harm is done to a believer if this becomes clear. Come to the path. What? To the ninth path, its method is psiic, not a sectarian one, just as it is not spliced between the scientific and the faith, with what is knowledgeable. Likewise, the opposite, no sectarianism, between the faithist and what, and knowledge. I mean, it is possible, that is, a person can be a believer in God and does not insult him and does not use knowledgeable means, and there is no evidence for it. He did not turn and make it clear, nor is this path. The seventh paths were all saying what you say. We do not have faith because faith occurs without it, without belief, logicians, without the two evidences. This evidence is evidence. I have mental evidence, religious evidence, express it as you wish from here. Consolation raises this question, which is that if he had faith in the existence of God, then there is no faith in God from any path whatsoever, and it was not a path inferred or considered scientifically, logically, philosophically, religiously, not what. It is not a reasonable path, but he gained faith. Does he hate me? This path is taken for an income that is disliked, and from here it is stated that there is no inherent evidence of faith and that it is possible for one of them to separate from another, but it will be in the knowledge of the dearest, in the most general sense. This is the way of the path, and it is the ninth path in the most general sense. There is a personal dimension in it, not a motherly dimension. The scientific abandonment has a general dimension in it, meaning those who know the evidence believe in it here, not its resources, meaning I am things, not some resources are good deeds, no some resources are the first way. Prayers are answered, you find it, and especially this is that my consolation occurs in a person when he is sick, or he is sick, and he prays for what? According to his beliefs, he prays to God and he responds to him, such as, a type said to him that this severe disease cannot be cured, so Mulan goes to an imam, or to Utbah, or to another governor, and prays to God there and begs for me, and he comes out of there, and he is in a state. Manshafa says, what is he saying? God says, God, this is the shin of the Allers. If you were to rate 10, it is evidence that there is no God who believes you and does not believe you. Why? Because he has his own proof, which is the response to supplication, so the supplications were answered, a special blessing for the one who responded to him, but it led him to faith, to believe in God. This is one of the paths, and it is contradictory, because you find many people who go to the thresholds, or to the shrines, or to a mother, or a first such and such, insisting on the night of knowledge that he is such and such, but he took his supplication or his supplication was answered here, and it is proven to him that he is this and what and who is among the first, except or the goodness of God is proven to him. The second way is good derivation, and this is a detailed study now. I will stop at it here, but, God willing, it is bad because it is one of the most neglected discussions that deniers of the existence of God have. They discuss these special ways, including breaking custom and traditional laws, which we refer to in the science of theology as what constitutes a miracle or call it dignity. For example, what is the logical, philosophical, mental concomitant between a person doing something that others cannot do and proving that he is a prophet, not a prophet, a prophet? You ask Jesus or you ask Moses. He says, I am sent from God's drummer to you. I say, I don't know. This offer says, look, I can. What can I do with your staff? The sea. See what I can do with your staff. The sea. Look. With your staff, the sea. We will break it. I can do this here because I can do a job. You cannot do it. You can. Show off. So you must accept that we will go crazy. What does it mean? Believe believes, and that is why you find Muslim speakers say the miracle is evidence of the validity of the supplication of prophecy. The Jews say they are evidence of the validity of prophecy. They are the evidence of the validity of the existence of God. Christianity says no. These are the evidence of the denial of the existence of God because Christ does not have God and a pillar of the essence of priority. This is the difference, that the miracle is what is performed. And the Muslims say that they are the evidence of the validity of the prophecy. And the Jews said that he prophesied and summarized and proved the existence of God, and Christ proved the existence of God directly here. The philosopher interjects and says, I do not understand what is the relationship between the fact that you are able to do the work of God, I can say it, and the validity of what they called you to do, but you were supported by the people. This is evidence of prophecy, and it does not add to prophecy for me, evidence of the annihilation of the existence of God or not. If you make a philosophical, logical, minority calculation, why do you have to explain them? But most of us will scrutinize and do not believe, so if it is faith, and with clear philosophical logical evidence, or without significant evidence, then perhaps there is still significant evidence that is not considered. Just before a person, Mawlan, blasphemes a person who was Raa in sleep, and as this happens, he sees something in sleep that is believed, but he does not believe the glory, even though the vision, sleep, and hallucination are proof, and he does not increase the proof, but he believes him in it after Mulan. In another way, the strange science, magic, fortune-telling, astrology, reading all, the clans of the earth, many people. This leads them to the Amanger, the fourth way, Taftal. Good collective reason or consensus. You often find him believing in the existence of God. You say to him, what is your evidence for believing in the existence of God? He says, all of the Bishariya are cursed. They do not understand. I am humiliated. They all say, God Almighty exists, but I know him. When he asks him about the evidence for him is, what is the unanimous reason? The unanimous reason that is upon me, and this evidence that is considered or not is evidence that is considered is not evidence, but it happened to me from this evidence. The fifth path, which is one of the most important paths, my consolation, is that people often get stooped, and situations happen to them, especially by which they approach death, it is possible or not possible. This you remember in what has come before us. They are the Quranic verses. They are the narrations. Have you ever been shipwrecked? For this reason, you go back to the history of atheism. He says when they approach death and see what death is like, it happens to them, and they say, Iman, even though it is the supervision of death. This is evidence to belief in the existence of God, not to belief in the existence of the other as a protector, but this specific situation, which is fear, panic, and alienation, may lead him to something, to faith in something. Hence, a group of psychologists said that belief in God is the same as the one whom fear wills. If he gets rid of fear. That is why you are between me and God, who is counting on you, in times of adversity. As for him, he is obliged, if that situation arises immediately, to look to a force majeure that can save you from this situation. Faith will be able to determine well, but based on the evidence of the right person, it is possible to rely on me or not, it is not the case. Here is a general mention. This path is a common one. Many Western thinkers say that there is no inherent connection between faith and the rise of evidence. Jawad Milna personified him in his book Khuda Tabin. Proofs of Isbat Khuda, a person Jawad Amul, this is his phrase there. He says the most beautiful of my doubts, like Darbuk, the verbal effects of Garbahan is Amda. He expresses a suspicion. What is it? If you scrutinize and believe in the chapter of Ran, and reasoning with a straight line, there is no relationship between faith and what and the establishment of evidence. There can be evidence and no faith, and there can be faith and no. Pictures of 99% of their believers are from Yadib Yamla. I mean, you, even if they are among the seekers who have become dough. Need, ask between you and God. You believe that God exists, and that he harmed the messenger of God, and that this is right, and that he, and that, and that, and that, what is the matter for that, if obedience is established, I show you kindness, but he who guides him and does not make him reassure the soul, he says, I mean, this is all that is understood. The mind of the people, or the evidence of the consensus, or the evidence of his religion, and there is no evidence except two fathers, so his parents, what do they have in him? They support him, they touch him. Who among you and who among us in the year is mostly bored? He is now on a path, and on a path. He is the guide of the people of you. When they believe in Muhan, he stands to others. He is a liar. I mean, you are drawn to Buddhism. Who among you is waiting for him if he is sitting, because with me and this one, do you listen? We will finance who of you next. So, make up my mind that we are on the true school and the truthful group, and ask between him and the true God. He wrote the caravan with understanding and the leader, and fear the concern of the door of the Mazid, the Libyans, and the players, God. This is the existing effect, and if it does not exist, they assumed in the request inside the seminary, Molan Ajr, 30-20-50. Is there anyone who knows hundreds of millions from the school of Al-Bayt Dullah? This is Failul. This ninth path says between me and me. Don't worry about them and their faith in them. Ha! Proof is full. But what he said confused me. He says he lusted after her. Thank you very much. He says, like the rap of Al-Sayyari, as Kasani, Kibi Iman, Kat al-Shanak, learn, and my proof is related to the extremism of my religion. The cold of Carter has tan, he lost religious faith in his religion, and this is austerity for you. He says if you find many of those who have evidence, but they have faith, but there is none, this reveals to you the jaws of knowledge about the right hand, and you find the opposite. What is the matter with you with the 2 Syrians of Asmoman, 2 believers, relative to the birth of faith, Daran Tuangami, proof and reasoning, Arain Dara, with him there is a believer, but he can evaluate the drill on my health and security, but he cannot, and this is the best witness, the best evidence of the possibility. What is its occurrence, dear, and the ego, you glorify that it is protected, and this is correct, of course. After that, he rejects the group from the distorted pioneers. For example, the believer did not believe until his mind means that knowledge came before him. Either this mind does not mean power. This is in the sense of paradise. They mentioned in what is past, we have made clear in what is past, what is meant by the mind as a power in the investigations of the apostate. They prophesy about the value of every visible person. If he and his mind know as much as the mind, then religion will be the end. I will ask if I am a disease. Enter in this research a 2-signed question. Is faith without belief without logical belief correct, and does it help? Sahih Shalko. They assumed, however, that this faith is a place consistent with the reality, meaning that you believed in the existence of God, even if they clanked like 2 stones as they were protected, or the one seeing him saw, or your obstacle was met, or etc., and this is considered and not considered evidence. This is not considered evidence. No logicians, no scientists, no physicists, no religionists, no fundamentalists, etc., but you got mad as a result of this non-scientific evidence. You got faith, and your faith was in accordance with the sight. Does it work or does it work? Well, now consider the other assumption, which is dangerous, which is about you having faith in something without evidence, and it is very contrary to knowledge. Is it beneficial or not? If it is identical to the protection, and is it beneficial if it is contrary to the other, you have grown up in verses, as is the case in the work. At least this is after a cognitive issue and a religious issue. However, the point of the discussion here is the 9th path. Its conclusion is most flattering. Its conclusion is as follows, which is that you are wrong in linking the issue of belief in God with the existence of the earth. There is salvation from it, especially when you abandon the people of the wrong path. When you abandon the evidence, we find you in your evidence, agreeing or disagreeing. One says that the mind is of benefit to look, but the mind of the mind is to look at what? There is no benefit. One person says, with the proof of the teleological, that it is beneficial, and the opinion of the other says that there is no benefit. One person agrees or disagrees. They differ. So leave the issue to the faithful. I have a path that will lead you to faith in God. He will provide you with many consolations. Al-Tafchili and many of my straws. The philosophers of estrangement for my evidence of belief in the existence of God. We describe this 9th method and its resources. It means the issue of answering supplications. The issue of avoiding unanimity on the issue of the map of habit, such as deity. One day for us, he puts his hand in detail on the issue. Al-Majda says one of the evidences of the people to prove the existence of Al-Majda is Al-Majda, and we discuss it in detail. This is Aga Jawadi Malana. In this book, my consolation is the goodness of one of Brahma. My consolation is the blooming. Chapter 9, with the clarity of a miracle, the miracle is evidence of the existence of what of the existence of God. Ijma means chivalry, meaning this is what you are looking for. Evidence of the Fitra. They say that every child is born on the Fitra. It means salvation. Every human being. What is he looking for? Oman. It is the goodness of God. Perhaps he is his situation. This is his situation. This is his situation. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is not. You are better off. Because this condition is empty. He says, if you are together, then heaven is in Namjaran. He says, I am my mind, you do not know what it will say. If it were not for it, he says, you are a problem, we will not be able to do it. He says, you are a problem, we will not be able to find you. I find that point, I find with that I find, with that I find, with that I find, we spend, what does he understand? Yes, this wax beetle, where is it present? For example, they assumed, for example, that the Sagriya inscription will not be present in Asbata. The existence of God is Maya's tando to this gathering, saying, therefore, everyone understands, and they transferred God to heaven, ha. Existing? Yes. What are you talking about? Let's go. The issue, they say, is the origin of the fear that man experienced in the early stages of his life, then it was passed on from generation to generation, from one generation to another. Yaal atheists say, and Darai says, therefore, the more he is able to discover the laws of nature and the less he engages in it, the less his connection with what is with God, and the more he returns to fear, the more he returns. What is the arrangement? If the issue is related to what is his path, and you do not get here, the following are incomprehensible. Keep your mind free. I will respond first, summarizing the previous classifications and the previous divisions. The first classification. In conclusion, the first classification is that we want to start to prove the existence of God. We start from the representation. We start from the representation. Say external, which of them? Some of them said, some of the evidence said, we start from where, from the representation, and the other said, we start from where, from the outside reality. Of course, and in all of them there is a lot of room for research and investigation. Because whoever says that your representation is correct, and whoever says that there is a reality outside, and that your tambourine foams the outside reality, and if a person says, I am your nest, there is no reality outside of what you want to do to it. This is an objective principle in this classification that the first approach says. We start from perception, and the other says we start from any of the external reality. This is the first classification. The second classification is if we start from the external reality, then we are about to prove its existence. The path of the creative creator is a type. The path of the creator is an end, such as purpose, goal, wisdom, systems, and so on. This is another place for classification, if you remember, which is that we started from the external reality. If I installed the active principle, I would install systems and purpose, and from it I installed it to match the previous classification, that whether we see the representation, the external reality, the goal principle, or the active principle, it is all constructed on the facts in the theoretical mind. Is the theoretical mind able to hibernate the existence of God, or is it incapable? Do you understand the principles that are the subject of research? And the clients of Atheists may say, like Kant, that the theoretical mind is incapable of hibernating the existence of God, and for another who says it is capable of hibernating his existence, then the third classification is that the reasoning by the theoretical mind is whether it is able to hibernate the existence of God or not. And on its basis Kant said he cannot, then there is no need to systematize it except by looking into the mind. What? A wish? Hesov Tamer, someone who did not say to decant on the issue that the theoretical mind cannot prove the existence of God, then he went to the evidence in the practical reason, and it was not proven for him yet. He proved to me the existence of God, and my reason did not find him to prove the existence of what was done in this issue. He said, it was like this. He says, and his evidence in the practical reason is complete and Yodam is incomplete. So there remains evidence of the existence of God and it does not remain. Yes, he believed in the existence of God. Why wouldn't he say that it is evidence in the practical mind or the moral mind that can prove it and confirm God? But this for me was for 2 days. But for him, his evidence is complete and we change it is complete, and this means that the dismantling of faith is a pillar of the reproached proof. What are the reasons for the form of the fourth conjugation? If we accept that the theoretical mind leads to the Yamani with the existence of God, will it reach it by the method of certainty or by the method of probability and strength of definiteness? Which of them is it? What is clear and not? And this one who was also a monotheist of Alatark. We said a path that says it leads us to the Yamani with the existence of God. What do we do with the Allegrum? This one says it does not reach me. The strength of the possibility of the existence of God in comparison with the non-existence of his existence, and here the strength is linked to the possibility, the difference, the fifth classification. The fifth classification is that what is meant by faith and what is meant is faith and the belief in the heart in the existence of God, or is the purpose of living a life without believing in the existence of God, which is due to the power of possibility for the power of possibility. We said, this is what he said to the power of the probable. He said, I am not looking for evidence for the existence of God, neither in the sense of certainty nor in the sense of probability. But the probable one says to me, you do not want to live it like this. It does not seem like you should live it like this. Like the mighty one, it is good that you want to wait. If you travel to an area and that area you do not know that the temperature there is normal even with your clothes on, not that the temperature there is no more than 0 degrees, then as soon as you reach out to the spot, and if the kid is ready, an angel will surround you. You freeze and you do not know the shaking under the seashells, and you do not know to those who are familiar with you that the air is normal, and you do not know that it is cold and you feel cold, and you have no drill for this or drill for that, there is no certainty or possibility, but you can bear even 1% that it is the temperature you have lost your grandmother and you are trying to come back and do not find a way to come back. We are taking precautions. What do you say in effect? If you do not take precautions, your work is rational or irrational. What does he say to you? If I said I did not take precautions, what does he say to you? You are the reason because you had the possibility that he had become ill, so it was a pocket to complete the clothes that protect you from the cold, and if it was in his place, they would have harmed the straw and not harmed the straw. Is that what they come up with? So it will be taken and it will not be taken, and my words will be taken, and this is what we said in Rehan from, but talk to me, how do I live? How do I conduct myself in my life? This has nothing to do with either the theoretical mind or the practical mind. It rises to the slumber of God's existence. There is no revelation of certainty or revelation of possibility. Rather, he lives on what? On his fear of the oppressor, and this fear is strange. What does he do to women? He says, I am nothing but a tidings. He says, there is no I, he says, I do not exist, I read the Quran. You say, I am nothing but a bringer of good tidings. But I condemn, as he used to say, I am nothing but a warner, a dew of fear. That is why, when people burn with fear, they run 90 times in the water. They burn with great glad tidings, and there is not even one with the water that burns people on the day of fear. Mighty, to warn their people if they return to it. He is present. The door of the east. Their people are the door of paradise. He says, Bab. Abound paradise, but it is for me and without fear and hostility. You will find this is for me. They deny it. God's presence says, whoever wills it, all of it. This Kabeya is bitter. We say to the people of its impurity. Please speak on the language, Pascal. We are with you in fear. But your probability is that this is what we have told Hegel. It has an impact. If it has an impact, what do we do? And it is not certain that there is a way to return, Lord of Jian. The answer is the answer, all of them, and behind them they came out to the place. The 1 out of 1,000 took shelter. The 1 out of 1,000 took cover. He took cover from the one who was fed up. Originally, the carelessness of 1 out of 1,000,000. The rationality of taking care or not taking care. What you can do, and you're right if you said with your tongue 1,000,000 times, I do not care. You have certainty, absolved of suffering, in all that this decree has been quoted over and over again from the point of view of the philanthropy, neither scientific nor also another. You can arrive at a certainty based on the hypothesis of the existence of God, the hypothesis of the existence of the other, and I assume the hypothesis of Wadat. Yes, you can put in justice, but do not reach the point of certainty of the absurdity and condition. Of course, I am talking about the doctrine of a limit that is less than a continuous one. I am in a doctrine that is also, I will give you a reason. He does not want to say it is not possible, because this man put together a structure that loves himself. I don't know. This composition is divine. What is this heavenly love? He loves himself and loves you. He does not accept pain. He accepts pain or he never accepts pain. He fights against a lion's mount. It is clear. Describe this classification of my consolation, which is that. Is what is meant. Is the fifth classification a misnomer? Teacher, is what is meant by faith and heartfelt belief, or is it meant to live and deal with others in the lives of believers, otherwise there would be faith? The other classification is that faith is belief and faith basically. Does it need evidence or does it not need evidence? The answer is the answer. The answer is a statement that you classify this person in this classification. He says, yes, he needs evidence, and his evidence is complete in your existence. This means evidence of innate nature. So, you do not need evidence from outside, because the existence of God is unknown to you. If they are known, and evidence is only for making predictions about a matter. This is an innate matter. What is inherent in the existence of man, and remember the playing has preceded. We have clarified the meaning of nature. So in this sixth or seventh classification he says, does he need theoretical evidence, any evidence, or practical evidence, or any evidence, or there is no need for Halley, that he is commanded in the existence of women, and he became my consolation. The last classification, well developed. The last classification, which is that whoever tells you that faith in the existence of God needs the evidence of the opaque, this one, who has told me that it is on the ninth path, who told you this, and even in the time of a wretched land, raised the question of faith in the West with powerful powers. A saying from a chapter on the issue of knowledge, whenever faith is without knowledge, rather, whoever separates faith from the world is more honorable than faith that is based on encounters. It's amazing how beautiful the anime looks, except for Muridia in the rooms. He will be deaf to the value of faith, and he will not be blind to the blame. Let me give you a great example for you. If there is a quantum of you, if the infallible Imam enters upon you and you know that he is a jinn, the Imam of the present, whether you respect and sanctify him, or you do not respect and sanctify him. Yes, if you believe in this and the infallible Imam. As for between you and God's eyes, the soul of the Imam enters upon you, and you do not have any idea that this is the infallible one, but you respect him and honor him because he is a human being. Which of the two is greater for us? Your knowledge and your lack of knowledge, Jehovah, heal him. These people say, if the disease is found, then it is to pour water. Isn't he choosing you and Lamab is choosing you even though I don't want to eat anything? Who are you? So what do you want? So, the value in faith is definite. The evidence of the value in faith is that it is a paradise without knowledge. That is why some of them express the followers of this path, saying that pain is evidence that kills the value of faith and destroys faith. The value of faith is that it is a paradise. Its value means the believer's subjugation in it, and God is its value. And you are one of us, the evidence of its quality. You will be safe and show off and respond with your greetings to its status. That is why I accompany this approach. They say, if you obey this person who is not the messenger of God, and if I ask you about the path, what you have. Maudlil says, but he is a human being at the pinnacle of humanity, and he carries among the basic human values and the worldly standing, in which nothing rivals him. You will be surprised. What attracted you to him is evidence of these values. He says, this faith is higher than that of that faith that said to you, this is evidence. And despite your nose, if he stretches it, obey the dough of a soul whose fire is full of blood, how dark it is. Likewise, I convey the idea to Al-Azi, and now in the West, and strong in some directions, he insists on what is said in faith, something, and the saying of evidence, science, and logical belief. Another thing that is devoid of this defect is that if evidence is established, then you are forced to believe. If you have evidence yet, you can file a claim. Faith is then voluntary, slanderous, has value and has no value unless it is faith, and it has value and honor if it is voluntary and not optional, if the separation of intentionality from public and evident evidence is satisfactory, with the intention of saying this is true, if it is false, my dear, but I want to say that my theories are now being put forward, and with great force they will be put forward in that howl, pains, and that intellectual turmoil, and my consolation has become, if God is here, we have mentioned how many ways he has strengthened it, it has been harmed, he said. More than that, our mention is not the same, so when we neglect, of course, there are scholars, and each of these paths has a result that differs from the other path. If you remember from what preceded us, the path of the Dali al-Burhan, abrogation, or systems, accuses the wise, the knowing, the powerful, the hearing, the seeing, and the chosen one. As for the actual Creator, he does not accredit that. What is wrong with the companion? Therefore, when Ansel Duggins, Roger Duggins, comes in his book The Illusion of La al-Koftar, if he wants to deny or discuss the evidence that those who say the existence of God have inferred, it is enough to discuss the effort. 2 of the 3 4 to 5 he does not want to discuss it, and this is what he does not do in this book. You will return to the pages filled with boredom. It is full of pages of the 3rd section, My Incapacity, the page of Sama Masabi, who says that the evidence for the existence of God mentions 3, 4, that proves that God says, then God is a paradise, there is no evidence for his existence. The answer is this is an extrapolation and we complete it. We have a piece like this, an extrapolation of the 3rd camel. You will not when you come to this book of a person who is full of joy. It is clear with 2 springs of slumber of deception, Zizi al-Tafjida, with the proof of possibility and necessity. They are decided for us with the proof of possibility and necessity. They are decided for us with the proof of possibility and necessity. Poverty, with the proof of the existence of existence, for and sell. The proof of truthfulness, the proof of sight, the proof of the miracle, the proof of religious experience, the proof of moral proofs from which there was the proof of natural instinct. Of course, here now we read, this is remembering Mulan. One of the most important ways to believe in God is the revelation Mulan. This may be the revelation Mulan is a proof and it is not proven proof. Many now deny the validity of the reveal or do not deny it. But for this person the goodness of God is proven to him even if he does not. He exposes the one who establishes evidence. He says, I happen to him with kashf, that it exists. Al-Aziz says, it is permissible to have a vision. It is permissible for him to have a dream. It is permissible for you. I don't know what to drink, like a dildo, permissible for a walker, permissible for jowls. He says, some of you are saying, this day is one of the authenticators who has seen his resting place. And this is from one of the authenticators. He is ashamed of the authenticationist. If you have faith in me, what about the evidence? And that is why you find those who try with all their might, who connect oaths to two proofs, to say that the revelation is also among the evidence that they have left out, because if they say that the revelation is not, what is more evidence than the average? If the Mulan speaks to me, what is this? I do not want me to be a verb whose objective meaning is clear. The scout is also for the knower. He is one of the evidence. This is an investigation, God willing, if we succeed in finding out that it is basically that a prophet believed that he was the prophet, and that this is what came to him from the Gebe of real. This is based on evidence, and by evidence means a session with myself. He said, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. I must establish evidence that this who came to me from them is the Gebe of real, and from some it is filled with others. God is some. If he encounters evidence, he believes that we have become blessed with revelation and divine knowledge. Al-Tafchili Azaf Waka. This is a pivotal issue, that he is the quality of the seers of Sadqam, what was said to him from him, Manu and Ta. We read the Quran through two things. I say this book is a miracle if Anshnu. This is a prophet. How did he know that? What did he have? He is a prophet. Where did he know him from? He says, this is a jib. I saw it, and two ashchin. This is a jeb. Ariila. He is talking to me. Isn't it so? Guess who knows that he forced his answer. What did he do to you? Reveal it. Is the statement valid or not? Whoever said that you will be cured is identical to the event that I saved them from. You would say, he is infallible and there is no curse. And you distorted it, removing the Quran from the coming of the Quran. Zamdir said, this is what we are able to do. He said, his name is distorted after his prophecy is proven. Or, whoever lost his prophecy was confirmed. After that, you distorted it. Where did his prophecy come from? You say, I know that it is the revelation that I know that they are truthful. We have repeatedly mentioned that honesty carries two meanings. As for truthfulness, it is news, and what informs me is truthful. I have repeatedly mentioned that if a person like me believes in myself that he knows knowledge and is honest with himself, you ask him between you. And when the affliction is severe, I swear on my behalf, what do I know about the scholar? But you ask the infallible Imam, I do not know who the scholar brought to me knows. This is truthful, so he is truthful with himself, but he is promising, and you will stand with Nasib, in accordance with the incident, the question of the messenger of God when he says, I believe that I am. How? Prophets sent to you. We are honest agents. We must ask, O Sadiq, if what you mean is informed honesty. This means he is an expert, and he is honest. He is a fool, and he is honest with the illiterate, but the honest, illiterate, confront him. This is credible. Logical means conformity. How? To fall, so it is a man with evidence or evidence of it is the person of the prophet. Believers with evidence or evidence of it is like it. And whoever says that every bit of what is consistent with the occurrence is a clear modification. The author of the answer. Let us return to the evidence. Just because you say such and such, so whoever is blamed for this, then whoever repents is glorified and you act in the name of. Dissimulation, it means insanity, it means you follow what he says and you do not have evidence of what is consistent with reality. This is supervision or the one who has evidence that it is this. Prophets, which one is honorable? I understand him. He says that the messenger of God respects him. This is the most crazy. He says to the one with whom the path rose. You were obligated. If you did not believe in me, you would consider us. You are a great faith. It was optional or optional. As for the one who is struggling behind me and has no guides, what is his faith? Yes, optional, 100%. His faith is more honorable than your faith. This is it. If those who walk on you with a muscle, this is the full speech. My condolences in your sorrow. You will be presented with the evidence that proves the existence of God, God willing, after this week. Next week, I will stop you from what we mentioned after this week, God willing, we will begin the evidence, that is, the evidence of the beginning, God willing, after that, and praise be to God, Lord of the worlds.